Hey everybody, Greg Casillo from Casillo.com. I've had a lot of questions lately about how I get such great photographs at night. So I thought I would try and encompass a lot of those into one video. And so let me know what you think, your comments, all that stuff. Please add a comment down at the bottom of the page and let me know what you think of the video, or especially if you had a question. Alright, so shooting great photographs at night. There's a lot of things that I take into account when I'm shooting at night. And so here goes. First, you got to use a high ISO. Don't be afraid of high ISO. Please. As I showed you in a video a few weeks ago, as long as you get a good exposure at a high ISO, you're not going to have a lot of noise. You're not going to have a lot of grain and a lot of issues. This one is a little noisy because I actually underexposed it a little bit, so that's why you're seeing a little bit of noise back down in here, and it was a really dark room. Plus, I had to have my shutter speed up real high. So, you know, it's one of those things where I had to open it up a little bit. That's why you're seeing just a little bit of noise in some of the darker areas. But if I'd have had bumped up my ISO a little bit more, up to 6400, I'd have been right on. I wouldn't have had this issue. So don't be afraid to use high ISO. Second, look for the light. There is light everywhere, especially when you're in the city or a small town with a lot of outdoor lights. This I actually shot, as you see, at ISO 2500. Gorgeous portrait. It was very late in the day. Just available light. That's all this is. And put her up underneath of an overhang like a porch and shot this. And awesome portrait. Real nice soft light. Doesn't get any better than that. Another one. Look for the light. This was shot in the middle of Westchester, Pennsylvania. ISO 6400. 2.8, 1/250th of a second. The kids were moving, they were having fun. There's no way I can shoot a slow shutter speed here, otherwise it's going to be all blurry. So I had to get that ISO up in order to capture this. But I had to find a light. I had to put them somewhere where there was some light on their faces. Voila, that's what we got here. Awesome picture. I love the noise and the grain in this. Really turned out well. And, you know, Dad and his two sons, doesn't get any better than that. So, next one, shoot at dusk, if at all possible. Getting that sky in the image can really, really make for some awesome images. I only wish this night, this was one of the last nights that I was in Vegas this year, that there wasn't that cloud cover, you know, because I would have had an awesome sunset. But you know, that's the way it goes. Still turned out cool. I still like it, but it could have been that much better. So, you know, next time that I go, I'll be back, Vegas. Alright, so, add a flash. Somebody said to me, man, why are you shooting at 3200 ISO in this picture? It's, you know, it's a bright sunny day. But it's not a bright sunny day. It's real dark in this image. So I added flash. You know, my flash is my main light coming from the left to the right across her face. As you can see, there's a little bit of a shadow on the one side of her face, and the other side is brightly lit. Adding a flash made this picture, and it's awesome because of the flash that we put on it. If there wasn't a flash, if I didn't add that light, it wouldn't have been anywhere near as good. Steady as she goes. Practice tucking your arms in. Hold on, let's talk about that. Practice holding your camera, tucking your arms in real tight, and when you're doing it, don't just sit your arms there. Really pull them into your body. Kind of, you know, take your shoulder muscles and your biceps and pull your arms into your body real tight to do your best to get a real nice tight base. That's if you can't lean up against something. If you can lean up against something, you know, like a pole or a desk, or in this case, I actually shot this. I didn't have a tripod, but obviously using a tripod would be next best thing. I actually shot this. There's pillars, and there's like these pillars with the speakers in it, as at the front of the Bellagio, and so I was able to sit my camera on top of one of those speakers, have a 30-second exposure at f/22, ISO 200, and it turned out awesome. So that's why it's a little bit shaky, just a tad shaky, because people are walking by, speakers are playing, all that stuff. But it's still pretty good for a 30-second exposure. I can't complain. I wouldn't blow it up real super big. It's good for the web and be good for a smaller print, you know, like 11x14, something like that. So anyway, pull those arms in, get real tight, and then practice. The other thing is, you actually don't want to hold your breath when you're doing a long exposure like that, or When you're trying to get a real steady shot, what you actually want to do is take a real deep breath, and then as you let it out, squeeze off a shot. Okay, you don't want to just try and hold your breath, because it actually makes you more shaky. So take a deep breath, and then when you're almost completely let out, take that get your right composition, try and hold it steady, and shoot it. That's the best way, and it's been proven for years and years for me as a shooter of weapons, of guns, as also people all over the world been doing that for a long, long time to get an accurate shot with a weapon. So that's the best way to do it. And last one, show motion. Motion can be awesome. Again, I sat my camera on something, got a good angle. I think I was up on one of those bridges that cover the walking bridges in the middle of Vegas that go over Las Vegas Boulevard, and I set my camera there, long exposure, 6 seconds at f/22, ISO 200, and got an awesome picture. Drug the shutter, real long exposure, and got something really cool. Obviously, I held onto my camera, make sure it didn't fall off. Last thing I would want is the camera to end up way down there, and a car run over it. That would really stink. But show some motion, show some trails, show some people moving. Don't be afraid to experiment a little bit. So, questions, comments, concerns, I'd love to hear what you have to say about these tips on shooting at night. Greg Cusillo, Cusillo.com. Keep shooting. See ya.